right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for opening your calendar. Thank you for doing whatever you did to get here. And I got a question for Andrea. Andrea, I got a question for you. It's been a while since I asked you a question, Andrea.
What's up, Gio?
Andrea, what happened when the parrot attempted to recite the alphabet?
The parrot was attempting to recite the alphabet.
What happened when the parrot attempted to recite the alphabet?
I don't know, Gio. What happened?
He got lost at sea.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
It's terrible. It's terrible. You know, there's a C minor. He got lost at sea. You guys are not musicians. I'm just saying. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Southeast, East Coast, West Coast, Central Time. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for navigating through the webs of the internet where there is a lot of stimulation and you landed here. We appreciate you. We love you. It is not a small thing that you're here. And it is not a small thing you woke up this morning. Today, we're going to dive into this phenomenal conversation. Is there an access to making the impossible possible? Let's think about that. Is there an access to making the impossible possible? Attorney Rita Williams is going to give us a story. She's going to give us maybe some access to it. But before we do that, let's anchor ourselves to be here and to be present. So I love asking these questions every morning. I'm going to start with the amazing Sorrel. Sorrel, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, Gio. Today, I am the way I say I am, and I'm calm.
Calm.
In the midst of chaos being created by my dogs this morning. I am calm.
Calm. In the midst of chaos. Thank you, Sorrel, for saying you are calm this morning. Tara, good morning. I have two questions for you, Tara. Where are you, Tara? And one thing you're grateful for?
Oh, thank you, Gio. I am right here with you all and nowhere else. And I am grateful this morning for friendship.
Friendship, and I'm here. And the amazing Sheila James. Oh goodness, I haven't seen Sheila in a while. Thank you for being here, Sheila. I got a question for you, Sheila.
Oh my God.
What time is it, Sheila?
Yes.
And Sheila, who are you going to hug today?
Okay, say it again. I didn't hear you.
What time is it and who are you going to hug today?
Oh my gosh. What time is it? The time is now. It is right now. And who I'm going to hug is Attorney Rita Williams and Blake Williams and the law firm of Williams and Associates right after this conversation.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sheila, for being here. It's just always great to see you. Okay, so today we're going to jump into this phenomenal conversation with a phenomenal human being. And most of you know Attorney Rita Williams, but I'm just going to say just a tip of the iceberg of the opportunity of her life, just to get some context of Rita for those of you who's the first time who meet her. And personally, this is someone who has made a profound difference in my life. And her love, her integrity, her appreciation for humanity has impacted me for the rest of my life from the moment I met her. And so it's always a privilege for me to introduce you, Rita. But I'm going to just say a few things of your life. Attorney Rita Tucker Williams. She's the CEO of Williams and Associates Law Firm. She's a champion of the people. She's one of the top-rated personal injury and product liability lawyers in Georgia. For more than 3 decades, Attorney Williams built her prestigious law firm in Decatur, Georgia, while raising 3 children. She has received many awards and accolades for her life-changing work as a lawyer of service, including recognition among the best attorneys of America by Rue Ratings in 2017 and 2020. Rita, thank you for being here. Oh, goodness, I can't wait to hug you, Rita. I love you. Rita, is there an access to making the impossible possible? How would you like to start the context for that conversation?
Well, first of all, good morning, everybody. And it's no accident that you're here, and we're so glad you're here to join us. So I say there is an access to making the impossible, or what seems impossible, possible. And I think we'll demonstrate that today, and I'll tell you why. So Tara Heaton is here, and I heard her speak with a group that Sorrell and Gio had a seminar with. And I was like, that's just so amazing. I love the way she tells the story. And I immediately, I think within like a few days, she was working with me. And so this is our first attempt at telling the story or a vignette that will be included in the first book that I write. And so Tara must feel like the parent standing over there waiting on the child, hoping they're gonna swim. But we're gonna do this, and I hope you'll notice something different. So even that was impossible for me to learn a new skill or to be willing in like a few days, just because I said so and because that person then appeared, something was possible. So I'm going to start with a story that Tara and I told her about, and she and I wrote it together, and she started it out, and it's amazing. So I hope you will enjoy it. It's about me, but hopefully something very different than anything I've told you, or I'm telling it in a different way. So I was telling Tara about a memory that dated back to 1963. Now, for so many people, you probably weren't even born in 1963, but I was a young Rita Tucker at that time. And I have this memory of my sister, who is 1 year older than me, shopping in a downtown Atlanta department store. The store was Rich's, and we loved Rich's. Does anybody remember Rich's? Let me see, I see Sheila. Anybody else? Well, anyway, Sheila and I remember that what is now Macy's was Rich's at that time. It was near Little 5 Points in Atlanta. Yes, my sister and I, we were all together, and we were downtown in Atlanta picking out clothes for the holiday. And in actuality, I'm not picking on Rich's, but they're involved in the story. And I want to shine a light on them because in actuality, we were treated better at Rich's than at most department stores in Atlanta. And I want you to know for people of color, Atlanta's kind of always stood out because of the AU Center as a jewel of the South. But it was in the early 60s, and it seemed that segregation and degradation was just the way it was for little colored girls at that time like me, or so it seemed. I remember it so vividly. That day, it seemed like we were on like the second floor at Rich's, and the lights seemed so bright. But I think it was because I knew I wanted to try on my clothes. But our parents had warned us before we got there. And I'm sure we rode in the back of the bus to get to Rich's because we didn't drive then, we were too young. They had warned us that we couldn't go into the dressing room because we weren't allowed in there. And it was not because we had broken the law, we had stolen anything at Rich's, it was because our skin was brown. So I remember looking at the dressing room and I see those green and white curtains. They seem kind of thin, not that expensive to me as a little girl. But I knew that it was some people's opinion that people who looked like me did not deserve the privacy that the thin cotton curtains provided as they tried on their clothes. My sister was right there with me. I can see this massive chrome circular racks of clothing. My heart started racing. Embarrassment and shame will do that to you. Because you see, we couldn't go in the dressing room, so I would need to try on my clothes in the aisles. I see it now. I stepped on the heels of my penny loafers. I remember I was like a turtle as I slowly scanned the area to hope that no one was there and could see me take my blouse off in the open like that. I can remember kind of, I was a little pubescent, little child, almost teenager. But I remember vividly just putting my hands over my chest. And then I stopped. And I remember thinking, I could get dressed in the aisle. I could hurry and pull the shirt over my head and cover myself and try on the clothing and hope no one saw me. But in that moment, I said I could, but I would not do it. That day, in that moment, I didn't buy any clothes. The clothes no longer looked good to me. They were not worth the cost of the pride that I had to give up in trying them on in front of the public. Something awakened in me that day. I was not buying clothes where I was not treated like a full human being. I wonder why some people thought they were better than others because of the color of their skin. I was thinking on that day and believing that better days had to come someday. Maybe not even in my lifetime, but I believed that better days had to come. But guess what? A year later in 1964, my aunt, Yvonne Tucker, and others that you know as the sit-inners, they were being arrested and jailed in the South and all over the country because they said all people deserve the opportunity to sit at a lunch counter, that all people deserve to be able to sleep in a hotel, that all citizens deserve the right to feel that they were Americans. Change was coming. It was in the air. You could feel that something was about to happen. We were determined, and new clothes were not as important as freedom and respect. As recently as I recently told my friend this story, and I didn't tell her that yes, the Civil Rights Act changed all that in a moment, in an instant, in a stroke of a pen. We were able to sit anywhere on the bus, but it took a lot of determination. It took a lot. And my friend asked me as I was telling the story, she said, that just sickens me. Doesn't it just make you feel so badly? And I remember telling her, it doesn't make me sick. It makes me know that we really have no idea what and when something will be made possible. So no, it is a memory that shaped me. Those people, the people who were sitting in and all of the forefathers of this country and all of the people who are a part, because we're all one nation, right? They were the people who stood up and said freedom is possible for everyone. And now today I be the law, like it is who I am. And it was because of that moment. And in that moment, I didn't think I was doing anything grand when I said, no, I'm not buying that. It's not as important as me. Some people say you can't really legislate love or hate. I think it is possible to enforce love and fairness and justice. I believed, and they believed, and I think most of us believe, that we are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and working on justice for all of us. Why do I say that? Look behind me. Look around me. Fast forward to 2022. A few decades have passed. Let's look who Marquise, who is the #1 biographer, basically in the world. In that book, which is the June and July edition of Forbes magazine and Fortune, yes, the Fortune 500 magazine, there's a woman in there who was that little girl, Rita Tucker, who said, no, I'm not buying clothes today. And you will see that Marquis who recognizes the lives of the most accomplished individuals from every significant field of endeavor. And in this issue, there are 18 human beings featured. One of those humans is Attorney Rita Williams, CEO of the law firm of Williams and Associates. Marquis says that Rita Williams is a champion of the people, one of the top-rated personal injury and products liability lawyers in the state of Georgia. And this very year, selected as one of the top professionals, 1 out of 18 in the nation. Thank you, Tara. Young Rita Tucker felt humiliated in 1963. That day, I transformed humiliation and shame into power. I knew in that moment that the outward appearance was not as important as who I saw myself becoming. I was determined to show the world that the demeaning things that were being said about some people of color were not the truth. I believed that no lie can live forever. And today, Rita Tucker Williams is recognized by Marquis Who's Who, Forbes, and Fortune magazine as a champion of the people. But can't you see when that was born? When I think back on those demeaning memories, as I see a little tear coming, informing my face, I do not wish to forget those memories. I know those painful experiences are critical in the development of the human being that I am today. They fueled me. They gave me energy when humiliation felt like it could win. Quitting was never really an option. I was born, let me say it like this, I was born for a time like this and a time like that. So no, those memories don't make me sick. They give me the ability to make a vow to you, Daily Huddle, that what seems impossible is possible for you too. Do you believe me? Do you see me? Rita Tucker could have accepted that she was considered only a subset of humanity. That day in riches, she did not believe that. On that day, Rita Tucker, the little me, stood up and chose freedom and excellence. You too, each one of us, have the ability to choose something else, to think like Muhammad Ali. He said, you can laugh at the word impossible. You guys know Muhammad Ali, or you know who he was. And these are his words about impossible. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power that they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Thank you for joining us today. And now we're open for questions, and I want to know, if you want, or whatever you want to say, what is it today that you think is impossible? Thank you.
Wow, Rita, that was so beautiful. What a journey. What a journey, at least that I went through while you were sharing the journey that you took us from a time where the little girl wasn't looking into, well, there was a little girl that wasn't thinking into to creating the impossible possible, wasn't thinking about creating a shift in humanity, but she was just not right about that. And she was just not right about it. And what I was present as you were sharing the story, I was thinking, what am I saying? What emotion am I standing on that I'm not right about, that maybe I can do something about? And that kind of triggered a whole world within me. So I profoundly appreciate you sharing your story today, Rita, and the way in which you have. But I don't want to just completely take over the conversation. Anyone has any comments or any questions that you would like to share with all of us? Just go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead, Sheila.
Oh, I didn't. Did I raise my hand?
I saw your finger going like
I
this.
was doing this, but okay.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Let me think a minute. I was thinking.
Oh, okay, got it. No worries, Sheila. Go ahead, Tara.
I will, I don't have a question. I just want to applaud you for your mastery of storytelling. I don't cry easily, and I knew the story. I will never forget this moment, this day. I will never forget it. And that is the art of story. And I just want to applaud you. I do know this, I've learned this, when we sometimes tell stories that are so deeply emotional and people are listening and nobody engages, you think, oh no, you've mesmerized these folks. They are speechless. And that's why we don't have questions. So let's give them a minute. I hate that I have to leave in a few minutes, but I just want to send you my deepest admiration and love for sharing something that's so difficult. It's going to make a difference for a lot of people, and you are a bright light.
And everybody, Tara actually listened to me and helped me as her student. This is my first class, right? Last week, 2 weeks ago. And we wanted to do something different, and we wanted to tell the story. And she really helped me tell the story. I mean, it was so important to let people assist you no matter where you are in life. No matter where you think you are. I heard her and I was like, I want to know how to do that. And one day I'll know how to quite do it the way you do it, but I'm learning and I'm willing to fail. I'm committed. And once one commits, I did want to say that too, Tara, before you go. Once one commits, all manner of the universe joins together to make something happen that wouldn't have happened. And you showed up and I wanted to do something different. So thank you. It's amazing. You're amazing.
Phenomenal. And I applaud you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Rita. And as another person has a comment or a question, I want to ask you something, Rita.
Sure.
And just, I mean, the journey of that you took us in, right? And just a quick question, and then we'll go with Shiva. Was there a point later in your life where this story that you're sharing was so vivid for you that you said, I'm going to be a lawyer? This is a moment, this thing that happened to me defined my purpose. Was there a moment like that for you?
That's an interesting question, Gio. now that I look back with the story, and this is the power of storytelling, I think it was the moment that I said, no, this isn't right with me. I'm not doing this. I think at that moment, I didn't get my power. I didn't get that was an act of defiance, as you call divergency, Gio. But at that moment, that was it. And it led, I didn't even know I was going to be a lawyer to probably 20 years later, or maybe 15 years later. But it led me somewhere that I get to say about life. And I stood steadfast, and then the universe joined with me and had me get, oh, my aunt is going to jail because we just want to eat at the lunch counter. We don't want to go to McCrory's and eat in the basement and stand up. Like, no, that makes me feel bad. I'm not right about that. And I was too little to do what they did. But I am saying something that I don't know that I connected at all until we wrote the story. I don't think I really connected it until right now. But I think it was in that act of really defiance. Like, no, I'm paying you money and you make me stand out here. I'm paying you money and I got to eat in the basement and stand up. I got to drink out the different water fountain. Ain't I a human being? So it all is coming together. And I know the answer is I became a lawyer, but there was this underneath, right? That was driving that. And I didn't even know it until we wrote the story. Until we wrote the story.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Shivam, you have your hand up. Did you mean to have your hand up? Yeah, go ahead, Shivam.
Did. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Oh goodness, Rita, you are absolute magic. First off, what you just said, it makes me think of something my mom always says. And she says, look, I'm not gonna pay my money and beg for service too. So I'm over here snapping my hands like, yes, that is right. Ain't nobody got time for that. So what an incredible story. And I missed the first part of it, but I gotta tell you really quickly why it's so special in this moment, because I woke up late this morning and I have my alarm on daily so I can catch the daily huddle whenever I can. And then I thought, gosh, it's late. I don't even have time to get up and put myself together so I can be on camera potentially. And I wasn't going to get on. And I was feeling so groggy. And I was like, you need to work out. You need to do stuff, get your energy up. And then I thought, you know what? Just go on. I know you're 10 minutes late, but just go on feeling groggy. You can perk yourself up after the huddle. And then literally I came on right as you were saying you were there, trying on your clothes. And then you decided what you decided, I don't know the exact words, but it was beautiful. And that perked me up. And listening to your story, I was reminded, oh yeah, of my own strength of really looking at the things in my life, in my world that I must stand for, and you're saying that, and you're saying it so bold and unapologetically, it really just ignited something in me. And so I'm so grateful that I didn't let my grogginess keep me off the call tonight, this morning. And for your story, it was just so beautifully shared. And I'm just sitting here on the edge of my seat oh, this is amazing. And so what Tara said about sometimes people can be so spellbound by when you share, I am not a mute person. And I felt so stunned that I almost wasn't going to say anything. And then I said, right when Tara said that, I thought, I got to say something. So thank you for sharing your story and your enthusiasm, your light, your beauty. It's just been such a treat to me this morning. So thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful. And thank you for being here. The young woman who was with me at that day was my sister, and she's got her hand raised, Gio. Maybe she can take my spot for closing. Thank you so much for coming and sharing.
You're
It's
welcome.
wonderful.
Thank you, Sheva. Thank you. Who did you say has the hand up?
Claudette, she had her hand up. Claudette, are you going to say anything? I think she took her hand down.
I didn't see Claudette. Claudette, would you like to say something, add something to your experience of being there at the time as well?
Just like to tell Rita how much I enjoyed her presentation and her talk this morning about accessing success and the impossibility, things that we think are oftentimes impossible. I'm very proud of her, and I was there, and we've experienced so many things in life together. And she's my best friend, and I want you all to know that. I want her to know it more importantly.
Yay!
Thank you, Claudette. Thank you for your words, and thank you for saying that. Rita, unfortunately, the half hour just flashes through. Unfortunately, thank you so much, Rita, for sharing your story. Thank you for your life's accomplishment. Thank you for becoming who you have become for yourself and for so many of us. And Rita, any last words for today?
No, I'm so glad to be here. And I just love what my sister said. I'm her best friend. And I always want that. And it's great to be here. And thanks to everybody and all my coaches, Sheila, Gio, Tara, Sorrel. I mean, everybody, thank you all for all the work you've done that has me be right here today.
Rita, and thank you, Rita. Thank you very much for joining us, for doing the work that you did. And for the rest of you, thank you for being here today. And as always, we always like to close with our 7 tenets to creating a great, great life and have a great skin and be sexy for the rest of your life. Raise your hand if you want to be sexy for the rest of your life and have no wrinkles. The first thing is love. Love always. Love those you have an opinion about. Love those you don't have an opinion about. Love loves. Laugh out loud, stress your cheeks, stretch them, your cheeks so much that you can start getting rid of all the wrinkles because you're laughing like crazy. Laugh, stress less, really, there's only one life. This is it. There's overwhelming evidence that this is it. Might as well just take it easy, stress less. Eat more plant-based, get closer to the trees, hug the trees, eat the trees. Always give, pay yourself, and then give. Give everything away. Give your jealousy away, your resentment away. Give everything away. Sleep at least 7 hours. I say 6, or else says 8. Sleep 7. And then every day, always move. Move every day, just a little bit. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon. Always move. Thank you all for being here. Have a phenomenal rest of the day. We'll see you Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Have a great, great day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, family.